Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by and seeing what I'm up to. My name is Silkyfeather and you can call me Silky or Nikki B. Hey, we got some urgent news about Biden's PPP. And I am a sole proprietor and I was denied for the loan I filled out or the application I filled out, and it was because of the bankruptcy. So I'm kind of excited. I will be letting you all know if I get accepted. um, Max has some news, so without further ado, let's take a listen. I will be quiet in the corner and I will not be talking because the echo is terrible when I do so. Um, and hey, you know, I don't know if I did. I didn't do it this year. I missed you guys saying happy Valentine's Day. And, I'm usually on top of things, but since I broke my foot, I've been miserable. And it's been 6 months and I'm still in a lot of pain. And they wanted to do surgery. And we lost 4 more people today to COVID. We've lost 304 in my local area. And it's kind of high. Over 20, I think 28,000 have, it's 28,000 and change, who have, let's see if I can pull it up here for you guys. I probably can't, but I can give you the numbers. Do, 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 do. But anyway, with that being said, it's terrible that the COVID has hit our small area so hard. And my dash, where I have the map coming up, is taking forever. It's loading. I'm so sorry. But we'll get on with Max because this is some urgent news, and I want everyone who has the opportunity to apply, when in doubt, apply. What's the worst thing that could be said? No. So, we have 652 active cases right now. There's 77 that are currently hospitalized. 308 deaths total. Oh, I lied about the amount. I'm so sorry. Recovered was 12,898. I got my little dyslexic going on there and I thought it was 28. All right. Well, guys, enjoy the news. Take care. This is Silky.
We have some big changes for the Paycheck Protection Program, and this is very important, especially if you have applied for the Paycheck Protection Program or if you're thinking about applying or you're eligible to apply. This could mean you're a gig worker, a contractor, a small business owner, anyone who is thinking about the Paycheck Protection Program, or you're potentially eligible, which is like something like 50 million people and businesses are eligible for this thing. This will impact you very likely. So just for some context here, the Paycheck Protection Program is a bit of a mess. It's less messy now than ever before, but it's still pretty messy. It's like that. It's like that ex that you went back to 3 times, even though it was kind of a mess. Sorry, that was a bad analogy. But anyways, here's the issue. In the first round of funding, big businesses swallowed up all the funding in like 6 days. And then more funding for the first round got approved, and finally small businesses were able to get their little slice of the pie. However, there were still problems. The application was difficult. It took months to actually get funded. The program just wasn't set up that well, and we can't blame the SBA too much because they had 6 days to make this program work. So of course there's going to be some issues. And then the second program came out, and it seemed like all the issues were going to be resolved because, they had like 9 months to figure this thing out. And there was a heavy emphasis on the smallest of small businesses, rural businesses, minority businesses, single member businesses. There was a heavy emphasis on outreach and getting them to apply and making sure that they were able to get funding. And a huge change here was the incentive structure for banks changed. This is probably the biggest reason why there was a change between the first and second round. So here's what happened in the first round. The way that banks got paid from the first round of PPP loans was as a percentage of the PPP loan that was funded to a business. So naturally, a bank would rather process a loan for a business that has 100 employees versus a one-person business, because it really wouldn't take that much more time to process the 100-person company's loan versus the one person, but you're making 100 times more money. So of course they're going to put their emphasis on that. In the second round, they changed it to more of a flat fee to ensure that the small businesses receive the funding that they deserve and make the program less daunting. However, we're still running into issues. Issues with bankers not understanding the SBA system and the SBA system throwing error codes. There's something like 40 error codes that look very similar to one another. And it's very difficult for bankers to understand what's going on. And something like 30% of people who have applied for the PPP program have had some kind of error on their application. And most of those aren't actually errors. They're just errors with the system. And there's also issues with businesses just not getting funding or it taking a long time, which is the boat that I'm in. Even if you use the lender that I recommend in many of my videos, it's perfectly normal as of right now for this process to take weeks and weeks and weeks. And sometimes you probably haven't heard from your lender because simply they're just waiting for the SBA, who is processing millions of applications. So if you haven't heard anything in a while, chances are you're okay. You can always log into whatever loan portal for whatever lender you use and see if there's anything you can do. You can always send them an email. But in most cases, they're just waiting for the SBA. And like I said, that's where I'm at right now. And by the way, if you haven't yet applied, you need to apply like ASAP. This program is set to expire in March. So just apply as soon as possible. There's a link in the description. But there are some huge changes here as of today. Biden has changed the rules on the Paycheck Protection Program for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks between February 24th and March 10th, the Paycheck Protection Program will only be open to businesses with fewer than 20 employees. Now, this is a huge win for anyone with fewer than 20 employees, even if you've already applied or if you're thinking about applying. This means you're going to have much more of a fast track access to getting your loan processed and getting it done before the deadline of this Paycheck Protection Program. So we're going to see things speed up dramatically for the smallest of small businesses. Also, a few other changes that were made are, first, legal U.S. Residents who are not citizens, someone like a green card holder, they are now eligible to apply. The rules were clarified there. They're eligible to apply. Also, business owners who have a non-fraud felony arrest within the last year can also apply now as long as you're not currently in prison. So what do you do now? Well, I have great news because the application has gotten much easier in the last month, especially for some very small businesses like contractors, gig workers, nurses, anyone who gets paid with a 1099. This application is much easier for you. So let me throw it over the computer here just so I can show you what I'm talking about. There's this new Fast Lane program that has just come out late last week. I've done a couple videos on it. If you want more information, I even walk through the whole application a couple times in videos. But it's called the Fast Lane. So let me scroll to the top here. So we can see this is for the smallest of small businesses. There's 41.1 non-employer businesses who could apply for the PPP. This is businesses who it's just a solo person without employees. There's 41.1 million. Only 3% of those have received a PPP loan. So there's millions of people who haven't received these. So if you know anyone who does any kind of gig work contractor, share them this video so they can apply and get some free stimulus money. So here's some eligible businesses. You can see repairmen, contractors, cable technicians, drivers, delivery people, content creators, photographers. If you do something on Fiverr, Uber, Grubhub, anything like that, you are eligible for a PPP loan. I wish it was called a grant. It's called a loan. It's a forgivable loan. It's totally forgivable. Now, the fast track program is a little bit more narrow because it's very automated, very automated. So because of how automated it is, and this program is brand new, it's a little bit limited in scope as to who exactly can apply. So let me show you who can apply. You can apply for the fast lane if you've never received a first round PPP or a second round PPP, or you've never received an EIDL loan. If you receive the EIDL advance or grant, you're fine. You can do this. But this application is for both the first and second round. So it's actually really awesome because you only have to do one application for both rounds. So like, let's say you're eligible for $5,000 per round. With this, you're going to just get $10,000. It's separated within the application, but it's one process for both. It's actually pretty amazing. So if you've already applied for the first round and received funding for the first round, you're going to have to do the regular application, which you can use the same link in my description to do that. If you haven't, you can do this. You also cannot have any employees, so non-employers, and the loan size is between $1,000 and $20,833. This is the maximum amount for a one-person business. So also for some people, you might not hit this lower limit. I've seen this a few times. If you don't hit this lower limit, which is your net income divided by 12 times 2.5, if that does not equal at least $1,000, you have to do the regular application, which again, you can use that same link, just answer the questions correctly, and you'll be directed to the right application. Also, you must have a completed 2019 tax return with a Schedule C or a Schedule F in order to do this, and you must have it in a PDF format. And what happens is you upload that document and this auto calculates for you. So you need to have that document 2019. If you only have a 2020, or like, let's say your numbers for 2020 will allow you to get a better loan. Unfortunately, this application does not accept 2020. As of right now, again, you can use the regular application still, but as of right now, this one is just very automated, but only for the 2019. So it literally only takes 5 minutes to apply with this thing. It's awesome. It's completely free. You never have to pay anything. If you're wondering, I don't know if I am eligible or not, just apply. There's really no reason not to apply. It's very automated. Like literally, this takes 5 minutes to go through. I have another video which I'll like pin it above, so you can watch the walkthrough of the actual application. So here's the basic steps. Your basic information. You sign both your first and second draw applications. Now this will take like a couple days of processing time, and then you also have forgiveness automated. So it's just going to take a look at your bank statements automatically and apply for forgiveness for you. Boom, you're done. I mean, it's so easy. But remember, no matter how you apply, there's still processing times at the SBA. So even though this fast track application is faster than any other application by probably a factor of 4, they're still processing at the SBA. The total time between applying and receiving funding is still about 2 weeks. With the regular application, you're looking more like 3 or 4 weeks as of right now. Again, if you don't hit the criteria for this, that's okay. You just have to wait a tiny bit longer, but still start that application ASAP. This is some huge news, and I'm just really excited for the smallest of small businesses, because if you've been watching this channel, I mean, it's basically been my life's mission for the last few months to make sure that everyone who can get these PPP loans does get this PPP loan. I mean, it's way bigger than a stimulus check. It's really something. Anyways, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.